Whew. Good evening, everybody. It is close to midnight where I'm at right now, and I was actually working on a PvP tier list as suggested by a fellow subscriber. And I was trying to push it out of the way, but I saw some news that I wanted to share with you guys here. We have some Japan news on the JP side of things on OPTC. Obviously, a big shout out to One Piece Treasure Cruise Reddit/Discord here. We are on the Discord. And our boy here, Godot, by translating things for us. We have, it looks to be V2 Marco, which is a legend, and we have the long-awaited Whitebeard versus Shanks as well. And we have not only their artworks, but their character information, and just all the things that they do. And it looks like we're still doing a little bit of translating. But yeah, I wanted to get this out ASAP because I know how hyped these units are going to be, especially the Whitebeard and Shanks. So let's kind of see what they do. So immediately, the second I see Marco and I see the Boost INT character, I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. I think Dex needed more support. INT is just fine where it's at. You know, they just got Bonnie. To be fair, I mean, Dex did just get Kid, but before that, what has Dex really had? You know, they've INT has had Halloween Law, Mihawk, Shanks, versus Big Mom, Bonnie, of course, Moria, Blackbeard, dual type. So, I mean, they've just been getting a lot of love, and Dex is definitely the weakest typing. So, that tan to the side. He boosts INT characters' attack by 5 times if the crew's HP is at full at the start of the attack. 4.5 times otherwise. He boosts all the types' attack by 4 times, so technically a Rainbow Captain. Boosts crew's HP by 1.3, making him kind of actually pretty tanky, and allows crew to overheal, so kind of like Sanji and Luffy, which is very nice, which means it'll be very easy to sustain that 5 times attack with him since he can overheal, as that counts as being full HP, right? Once per adventure, if the crew's HP is 30% or less, it triggers a special at the start of the next turn. Alright, well, let's see what that does. Reduces slot, tap barrier lock by 3 turns, which we all know is a very annoying ability. Reduces paralysis and special bind. Woo! That's pretty juicy. By 7 turns, and heals 50 times his RCB, that can also overheal up to 2 times his max HP. If the crew... Now, this is a little weird, now that I'm looking at this one here. If the crew's HP is 50% or less when the special is launched, boosts the Psi INT Powerhouse Affinity by 2.5 times, 2 times otherwise. If the crew has Super Type, he boosts the chain by 1.2 for 1 turn. That's pretty nice. The special right there, though, seems to kind of contradict what you want to do with his Captain ability, right? Am I reading that wrong? I mean, it does trigger once per adventure outside of just using his special, right? Like, it'll just activate automatically through his Captain ability. So that, I mean, even if you only get a 2 times affinity, that's pretty decent. Especially when you consider that 2.25 is the max, or at least was the max for the boost for affinity up until we saw this now, which is for Psi, INT, and Powerhouse types. But it can only work if the crew's HP is 50% or less when the special is launched. And if you're running him, you know, unless you're running like a specific unit with him, like say, maybe PvP Aniru, the INT Aniru. I only say PvP Aniru because that's pretty much the only reason people use that Aniru is for PvP. He's really good for INT teams, as he cuts your HP by, I think, 50%. Or the Nami that came out with Katakuri, V3 and V2 Blackbeard, she cuts your HP as well, but besides that, I don't know how often you're really going to get your HP at 50% or less to really get the full benefit of the 2.5 times affinity boost. But 2 times is still good, so I'm not really going to knock it for that. I'd have to see what the rest of the batch, you know, that comes with these characters looks like. Maybe we'll have a unit that'll work in tandem with him. But these are just my first impressions. You know, I could be way off come when the unit actually comes out. His super type condition is when HP is less than 50%. That is also weird. So I'm assuming there's going to be a unit in the batch that can just drop him to 50% or less. His effect is he will change all orbs into INT, removes RCB down, and turns INT characters into super INT. And then, so if you use the super type effect, and then you go to the special here, right, and then activate it, you will also get this effect as well. But if you activate this special, and you are not super type, you will not get this effect from what I'm reading. Okay, very interesting. That super type effect seems kind of weak. You do get I mean, the full board of matching orbs is nice. I do like that. I do wish they were locked into place, kind of like Roger, but that's fine. Removing RCB down is good because that would be something that hard counters his team, since it's a team based around being able to keep your HP up to enable his captain ability here to maintain the 5 times attack, right? So that's actually really good. It keeps everything live. Otherwise, you'd be down to 4.5, which isn't horrible, but you know you still want to be getting that 5 times attack boost. And here's his artwork right here. He looks honestly awesome. I love this artwork. I'm wondering if he just is in that Phoenix form the entire time, or if he transforms mid-animation. Gonna probably go with him just being Phoenix the entire time, because I don't think we have a standalone Phoenix sprite for Marco yet. But that's what his information looks like so far. I'm not too sure how I feel about him. I think he could definitely be a top-tier unit, especially considering the utility he has right here. The paralysis and special bind is really nice. 7 turns of it getting just annihilated, and then reduces your slot and tap barrier lock by 3 stacks, which is really nice. And then the heal. Really good. I like that. And then the affinity boost. He does a lot of things really well. So, you know, and he's probably meant to be used in tandem with these guys here. The boys we've been waiting for, the 2 big Chonko Emperors of the Sea, Whitebeard versus Shanks. How do I feel about this art? Shanks looks good, in my opinion. Whitebeard looks a little off. But maybe it'll grow on me, right? I'm just happy that these guys are finally coming out. I was kind of hoping these guys would come to global simultaneously, but it does look like JP's going to get them first, which, you know, makes sense. So, let's see. Down to their captains, Whitebeard is going to be a flat 5 times boost for Psy, Int, and Striker. So, more love for Int. Psy's okay. Psy's had, V3 Law. They've had Roger, you know, arguably the best legend in the game. What else have they had? Sanji, Luffy, Psy, Strength. So, I mean, they've had a lot of really strong legends, but it's been a while since we've gotten anything like super top tier, I think. And is this the first Psy versus type unit? We have Ace and Akainu, right? Which is Strength and Quick, and then we have Kaido Big Mom with Strength and Int. So yeah, this is actually, I guess, long overdue. I kind of wish it was Psy and Dex. Yeah, Psy and Dex would have been really good together, but... And then made this Marco Dex on top of that. That would have been really good for Dex. Like I said, they need it so bad, but maybe in the batch after this we'll finally get that. But I digress. So flat 5 times like all the other VS units. HP by 1.2 makes your Int Orbs beneficial for the crew. It increases the rate of Int Orbs and reduces damage received by 20%. So I like that. I am a big fan of damage reduction. You know, V3 Law is one of my favorite legends, even though I only had him in the A tier on my tier list. But if I were to, like, have placed him based on his, like, survivability, he would have been one of the top legends, easily. But continuing on, for 1 turn with this special, he will boost the base attack by 1k for Psy and Striker, and boost their attack by 2.5 for 1 turn, very good. If the enemy with the highest HP has 80% or higher when the special is launched, it cuts all enemies' HP by 30%. So NAO, which is normal attacks only, will kind of dunk on this. I don't know if it's a necessary part of the special. It's nice when it goes off. Let's take a look. If the enemy with the highest HP is less than 80%, then you get a 2-time orb boost. Wow. Okay, so most of the time we probably will not be getting most of that effect, right? That's kind of dookie. Unless there's like a unit in the back or something that can enable you to rip through normal attacks only. You're not going to be seeing this, realistically. But, you know, if something kind of curveballs this, and, you know, maybe they start releasing less content with normal attacks only, that's going to be really good. You know, you're going to see the enemy at less than 80% HP. You're going to get 2 really big, strong buffs by himself. And that just means you can build your entire team around utility, which is so good. Oh, excuse me. Was not expecting to talk for this long for this video. There's just so much to go through, right? So his versus condition is very simple. Consume 10 Cyan in Orms, very similar to all the versus units, realistically. His versus effect is he reduces damage taken by 90% and ignoring all defensive effects. Wait, and ignoring all defensive effects cuts all enemies' HP by 30. Wait, what? Defensive effects, right? That doesn't get through NAO though, right? Because that's not defense up, that's not damage reduction, that's not threshold. Does that include NAO? Guys, if you know, please let me know, because that makes this guy so much better. Because it will trigger this part right here of a special. He won't get the other HP cut, if I'm reading it right, but he will get the 2 times orb bonus. Bonus on top of the attack bonus if this goes through NAO. I don't think it does, but if anyone knows, please let me know in the comments. The damage reduction is really nice. But, like, if we compare that, just this part alone, to, like, versus a Kainu and Ace, I don't think it's as good at all, but if we get this second part here, this guy's up there, man. Yeah, this guy's up there. Alright, so for Shanks, kind of the same thing. Was Whitebeard 1.2? Yeah, he gives more HP than, you know, Whitebeard does. 1.5, so this is going to be a tanky boy. And instead of strikers, he'll boost slashers, while maintaining the boost for Psi and Int. Okay. He makes the Psi orbs beneficial for the crew instead of Int. He increases the rate of Psi orbs, and then he, instead of the damage reduction, we get a heal 0.5 times his RCB for every perfect hit at the end of the turn. So, high HP, has nice recovery, loses damage reduction, but that's not a big deal. His special is very similar, except for Psi Int slashers. You'll get Psi Int slashers base attack for plus 1,000 for 1 turn, and boost their orbs by 2.5. Okay, so instead of an attack boost, he gives orbs. Okay, got it. And then changes all slots, including block, into matching after 1 turn has passed, huh? Huh. That's a little weird, right? Why would he want you to wait 1 turn to give you that full board? Well, I mean, let's take a look here. He is, he's going to be Psi. Does Marco work with him, maybe? No, his super type gives matching, but only for, into Int orbs, right? Interesting. And, Shanks only makes Psi matching. Okay. So yeah, Marco's definitely meant to work with Whitebeard. You know, being Whitebeard's, first commander, but still. So let's continue on. Okay, after 1 turn has passed, and then for 1 turn, reduce all enemies' defense to 0 for 1 turn. Okay. So by itself, that's interesting. I'm assuming there's more to that. Versus type is the same as Whitebeard's, and then his versus effect is sets defense to 0 for all enemies. Wow. Wow. Sets defense to 0 for all enemies for 3 turns and boosts damage dealt, so he has his own conditional buff. Yeah, I am liking Shanks a lot more than Whitebeard currently, just by reading off of this. Wow. So you get a orb boost by 2.5. After that, and then, sorry, you get a 1k flat boost to their base attack as well, which is going to be a nice increase in damage. After a turn is passed, you get block into matching orbs after 1 turn. And all slots and block into matching after 1 turn. And then for 1 turn, which I'm assuming for 1 turn, I'm assuming it's when you launch this, and not when the orbs change during the next turn. Could be wrong. Reduces all enemies' defense to 0 for 1 turn. So by itself, it doesn't trigger the super type, like, you know, you don't have any conditional until you activate the super type, which also sets defense to 0 for all enemies for 3 turns, and then boosts the damage dealt to them with defense down by 1.7. That is really good. That is really good. If they have, like, all immunity, though, that kind of doesn't do anything, but I don't know. I'm a really big sucker for conditional self-proc boosters. They are really good in general. If you can get this off, he's like definitely one of the best versus captains in the game, like easily, for sure. I'm not sure if I like him changing slots after 1 turn instead of like on the spot, but maybe there's a batch unit that works perfectly with him. Who knows? But yeah, these guys like really good. Are they as good as a Kainu and Ace? I honestly don't know. They're up there though for sure. But definitely, I think this is definitely very good for how hyped this unit's going to be. People are going to be summoning all over the place for these guys. I know I will whenever they hit global, but sadly we are a long way from that. Marco seems pretty good too. I think he's going to see a lot of utility as a sub, especially for these guys. Like, just the paralysis, special bind, and the heal, and the affinity is just really good. Because you will get the affinity even if your HP is above 50. You'll just get a 2 times the bonus right here, right? And here's the cool thing. I didn't even notice this. If the crew has super type, right? So you'll get this boost even if he's not the captain. They just have to have a super type. So like, what's a good example? Could be super type Luffy, super type Katakuri, Blackbeard, Moria, Magellan, etc. He works with them. You need to make sure that you're running it with a captain that is a Psi or Int super type, right? So you're at least getting the affinity buff. So I'm actually pretty impressed here. I don't think they're like game-breaking, but I don't really want game-breaking units, you know, because that takes forever to balance around. Do I think they're excellent units? Absolutely. Would I summon for them? Absolutely. I would go deep for these guys, personally. Not to mention, you know, a lot of us are probably big Whitebeard and Shanks fans. Same with Marco. He's very popular. Down here, we have a little bit more information based on their PvP abilities for Marco. Once again, thanks to Godot, put in work here. Even at past midnight. Appreciate it, dude. Let's see. So, Whitebeard's special cuts HPs of enemies in large range by 10%, defense up level 3, and attack at level 5 to INT allies for 15 seconds. You know, PvP guys, defense up is amazing, so I like this. When remaining time is 50 seconds or less, he deals 1 times attack to enemies in medium range. Wow, 18-second cooldown. The HP cut is kind of small, but the other buffs are pretty decent. I don't know if he'll make a big impact, but... He's an INT type, and INT is very competitive. You know, you have Katakuri, you have Blackbeard, you have Law, you have Doflamingo, just a lot of slots. Well, let's read his ability, right? Okay, so his regular abilities, passive abilities, INT HP up level 5. That's good. Attack up level 5. That's kind of poopy. When HP is 50%, it's below 50%. Own defense up level 7. Ew. That's not bad, but I wish he gave it to the team. Can you imagine if the entire team got, maybe not level 7, but like maybe level 3 or 4? That would have been really good. I don't like units that only buff themselves unless they are like the win condition. But I could be looking at this the wrong way, but while I like the HP up bonus, which is really good, the attack up is kind of just non-existent. And then his resistance is immune to special bind and reduces damage received by Psi. Wow, that's nice. So Roger's going to be hitting him 30% weaker, which is pretty nice. And anything like Kizaru's Psi unit, Wano Law's Psi, there are a lot of very prevalent Psi units, so that resistance is pretty good. Shanks at level 10 special will give a Psi defense up level 4 for 20 seconds. That's amazing, I like that. Deals 1,000 fixed damage to enemies within large range, that's pretty good. When the remaining time is 50 seconds or less, deals an additional 2,000 fixed damage. Wow. Yeah, this Shanks could be top tier. He's going to be a Psi unit, right? I like that. I like that ability a lot. Especially if the game drags on, right? And you get this additional 2,000 damage and it's fixed. That's going to be 3k. Because first of all, he's going to hit the first time. It's only going to be 1,000. But then when that timer drops below 50, man, you get a 3,000 damage the next time he goes off. That's nuts. His Pirate Festival ability is level 5, max level. Psi HP up level 5 and attack up level 5. Do not like the attack up again, so it's very similar to Whitebeard. When HP is below 50% owned, so he's pretty much the same as Whitebeard, but for Psi. And then, very similar to Whitebeard, his resistance gives him immunity to special bind and reduces damage received from INT instead of Psi by 30%. INT is very powerful. This is nice. I like that. Gives him a lot of survivability against those kind of teams. And then Marco here, he will, in his special at max, will deal 2 times attack to enemies within large range. When his own HP is below 50%, recovers 2.5 his the character's RCB to allies within medium range, and inflicts defense down level 5 to enemies. Wow. Level 5 defense down within large range. That's really good. That's really good. Now, we need to really see what his passive is. INT attack of level 5, that's duty. And knockback of level 5, that's... I actually don't know what knockback really is. Is that just when they attack and sometimes they get blown out of their position? Like, they don't get knocked off the map or anything, but they get blown back. So, if you have like a tanky unit and you hit that tanky unit, do they get knocked back? Is that what that knockback means? Because if you have a tanky unit and you knock him way back, units are automatically going to attack units that were in front of him. So the tanky unit no longer really serves its purpose anymore, right? And then he gives INT special CT charge speed up level 3. That's pretty good. I wish, again, he had defense up. Defense up is so important. The best stat in PvP. But I digress. He does give it... Actually, no, he doesn't give any defense up, but he does give defense down, which is really powerful, on a 31-second cooldown. But that only triggers, I believe, with the rest of this ability, which only goes off when he is below 50% HP, when his own HP. So you're going to want to stick this guy in the front line, like in the middle slot, when you're running him. He's immune to bind and reduces damage received by... So is that like a new thing in Japan? I don't think a lot of units on global, or even any units on global, have this reduction from a certain type. Well, either way, guys, they're looking pretty good. They look like they'll be fun to use in PvP. Are they top-tier PvP units? I think Shanks is, for sure, on first look. Marco and Whitebeard might see some play in PvP teams. On INT teams. I'm just curious to see how well they work. I think we'll probably see more of Marco than Whitebeard, but time will tell. Give me your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Let me know what your favorite units are, what you're looking forward to the most of pulling, or if you're like me and you main global and you have to wait, what do you guys want to pull on when it does come to global? But yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys, and until next time, I'll see you then. Bye for now.